So,
another point here is that there is one specific danger. There's one specific, if you like, region of the sky that really needs to be looked at. And this is the region of the sky. This is why I wrote Magicians of the Gods, because of this discovery that there's a thing called the Taurid meteor stream, which is 30 million kilometers wide and which envelops the solar system. And the Earth on its orbit around the sun passes through the Taurid meteor stream twice a year. Turns out the Taurid meteor stream is the debris of a giant comet that came into the inner solar system about 20,000 years ago. That thing was at least 100 kilometers in diameter, according to their calculations. It may have been more so. And then, like other comets like Shoemaker-Levy 9, which spectacularly hit Jupiter in 1994, it began to break up into multiple fragments. And those carry on orbiting on the original path, and as they break up more and more, they degrade, and small bits and large bits break off, and it gradually fills up a kind of huge hoop of debris that the Earth is passing through twice a year. It takes us 12 days to pass through it. We do 2.5 million kilometers a day on our orbital path, 12 days to get through the Taurid meteor stream. And the scientists of the Comet Research Group have made the point that a big object out of the Taurid meteor stream, multiple objects, as a matter of fact, was what hit the North American ice cap 12,800 years ago. It looks like there was a second series of impacts 11,600 years ago from the same source. It looks like there were other impacts in the Bronze Age. The most recent, almost definite impact out of the Taurid meteor stream was Tunguska in Siberia back in 1908. That hit on the 30th of June, 1908, and that's at the peak of the Taurid June shower, when we passed through the Taurids in June and in November. And what they're saying is we really need to focus on this Taurid meteor stream. Their calculations are that there are hundreds and hundreds of massive objects in that Taurid meteor stream. And, as a comet breaks up into bits, those bits become asteroids, and those asteroids are circling in the Taurid meteor stream. And I've likened it to strapping on a blindfold and crossing an 8-lane interstate twice a year and just hoping that we don't hit any heavy traffic, that we meet bicycles or motorcycles rather than trucks. But the trucks are out there, and what the Comet Research Group scientists are saying is we need now to be in-depth investigating the Taurid meteor stream, because it appears to be the hidden hand in human civilization. It has wiped out episodes of our history in the past, and there's no reason to expect that it won't do so again unless we do something about it, because the remnants of that original giant comet are still circling in the Taurid meteor stream, and they are fucking dangerous.
Now, how is this being received in mainstream science? I mean, is there any resistance to this? Because it seems like this is all pretty straightforward and traceable.
mostly being ignored.
Mostly being ignored.
And why do you think that is?
By scientists who have a vested interest in other ideas. First of all, there's a vested interest in not admitting that cataclysms are important at all. This goes right back to the 19th century, when science began to take shape in the form that we know it now, and they wanted to separate themselves off, understandably, from superstition. So they didn't want anything to do with something that sounds like the biblical flood, for example. They felt they would be contaminated by that, and they preferred to explain any cataclysmic evidence as a result of gradual processes.
So you really think it's because of the reluctance to accept religion or religious ideas, or to separate themselves from it?
No, I think that's where it started.
That's where it started.
They wanted to separate themselves off from that. Now they've gone a long way from that, and many, many scientists have got a vested interest in what is called uniformitarianism or gradualism. And they don't like to hear about cataclysms having any major impact on the story of life on Earth.
So is it sort of the momentum of these initial desires to escape religious influence that have sort of led them down this path?
Yes. And then there are others who have a vested interest in current accounts of global warming, others who have a vested interest in extinctions taking place now. They want to say that our ancestors were responsible for the extinction of all the mammoths and mastodons and so on and so forth, whereas the Comet Research Group scientists are saying, no, those huge megafauna of North America were wiped out as a result of the massive series of impacts on the North American ice cap.